Thank you for joining us for this virtual family day. Welcome. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to create your own weaving. So for this activity you will need a sheet of felt approximately 8.5 by 11 inches, a sheet of paper also approximately 8.5 by 11 inches, a stapler, scissors, a marker or pencil or pen, a couple of strands of yarn, and then these items are optional, but ribbon or textiles or anything you may have laying around the home, as well as a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can also use any straight edge. So to start, we are going to fold our felt in half like a hot dog, and then we're going to take our ruler or any straight edge, and we're going to make a border mark about halfway from the top edge. So this is about half. And then we're going to go ahead and connect those. And now we're going to make about 10 lines that are evenly spaced apart from the side edge. And these will be about 1 inch apart. And then I'm just going to make them at the top to make sure when I connect them that they are lined up. So when we draw our line, we want to make sure that we don't go over our border line. And we're going to draw it all the way to the bottom of the folded edge. Okay, and now that we have our lines, we are going to go ahead and take our scissors and we're going to cut our lines, but we're not going to cut past our border edge. So as I'm cutting, I'm just making sure that my edges are aligned and that I'm cutting all the way through both sides of the felt. And now we have our layout. Okay, so now that we have our felt cut out, I'm going to use cardstock. If you do not have cardstock, you are able to use anything that's sturdy, or you could just go ahead and weave without any backing. So for this, I am just going to unfold my felt and staple 4 corners. Okay, and so I am going to start first by using a traditional over-under weaving pattern. So for this, we are going to go over the first, under the second, over the third, under the fourth, and so forth until we get to the end of the row. And then I'm going to pull it through, but I want to be sure not to pull this all the way through. And then I'm going to pull it down a little bit. For the second strand, we are going to go under, over. So we're going to go under the first, over the second, under the third, over the fourth, under the fifth, and so forth until we get to the end of the row. And I'm going to pull this through and pull it down a little bit. Okay, so after you've added a few pieces, if you haven't pulled your yarn down, just make sure that you try and pull your yarn down to the bottom as close as possible. This should be done after you weave each row, but it can also be done at the end, and then you'll have space to add more above it. If you do not have access to yarn, you can also use any type of recycled material, such as cut ribbon, cut shirt, or any type of cut fiber, as long as it's cut into strips that are the size that spans your sheet of felt. So as you begin to pull your strips down, you'll notice that it gives you a lot more room at the top to continue adding. Once you are finished, what you will do is go ahead and tie your sides together, and you can either tie them in 2s or 3s or 4s, but as long as they're tied on the ends so that your strips cannot fall out. And then after you have tied your sides, you may go ahead and cut the excess off. So after you've tied your ends, these extra pieces, we can now go ahead and cut them so that it's not as long. And then once your weaving is completely finished, you will remove the staples. And then you would have a finished weaving. So after you will have finished your weaving will look similar to this one, but a lot more beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us.